Hello everyone, welcome back to my brand new YouTube travel destination management channel, Go Somewhere with Nikki, and I am your girl Nikki Tripp, and guess what? We are going to talk about Events 101. Now, I received a very interesting question from my girlfriend, and I was like, oh my god, I'm going to answer it, but I'm going to put it on YouTube, because she wanted me to explain to her the bare bones of an event, what she needs to consider, because she's just starting out in the event planning industry. And because she's my homegirl, I don't have a problem answering a question because I want her to succeed, but I want you to succeed as well. So I'm going to tell you on YouTube the 6 things you need to remember. Okay, so Event 101. The very first thing, the very first thing you need to think about is site. And when I say site, I mean location. What type of venue are you going to hold your event in? Is it going to be in a hotel ballroom? Is it going to be in an amphitheater? Is it going to be in a theater? Is it going to be in a convention center? Is it going to be in a mega center? You need to remember all of these very, very key things when you start thinking about site or venue. Number 2, when you start looking at the venue, you need to figure out what type of housing accommodations are in the area. So when I say housing, I'm saying, hotels, key factor. So how are you going to house your people while they're there for their 3 or 4 days? Now, if you start thinking or looking at hotels, if you're booking more than 30 hotel rooms a night, you have a bargaining chip, bargaining power, and you can drive the costs down. So when you start looking at hotel rooms over a room block of 30 or 30 rooms per night, you need to contact catering and sales. Some people don't want to stay in a hotel. I know you guys know this. So what I tell people all the time is if you have VIPs, look into mansions or very upscale boutique hotels. You can even do corporate housing. Nowadays, they have hotels that are hooked to apartments, and they're very upscale apartments. If you want to check out a website who does this, go to the Conrad in Miami. They actually do this. Or you can check out the Intercontinental Miami, because they have very specific suites that can house your VIPs. So now that we've talked about site and we've talked about housing, how about transportation? How are your people going to get there? A lot of people want to transport themselves, believe it or not. So when you start talking about transportation, remember that parking, be it self-parking or valet parking, is very, very key. You also want to think about shuttle buses, or if the venue and the hotels are close, you need to walk it to see how much time it would take from them to get from A to B. And always have a backup plan, be it a shuttle bus or a limo service or car service for people who are impaired in any way. The next thing you want to think about after you've got your site and you've gotten your housing and transportation down is audio visual. Now, your audio visual is how you broadcast your event, and that's very, very important. And that could do or become anything from stage and lighting to Skyping to allowing people to Ustream in like Oprah does. You need to think about audio visual. It is a very, very, very big factor, and it can actually ruin your program if anybody feels that it's done very poorly or they can't hear you or see you. So you want to be able to communicate your message very, very clearly. The next thing I think is very, very big is actually registration. Now, registration is simply allowing your guests to come and check in at one central location and say, hey, I'm here. And at your registration booth, they can get name tags, they can get lanyards, they can buy merchandise, they can get a program schedule, they can find out what's going on in the city. So you want to remember that registration is key. It's a key factor. And a lot of big companies, they actually outsource the registration, believe it or not, because it can get very, very hectic. And after you have figured out your venue, you figured out housing, transportation, audiovisual, registration, you know what you need to think about next? Lifestyle activities. Yes, honey. What are your people going to do during the time that there's nothing to do? And sometimes lifestyle activities can be something that the city arranges, or you could arrange them yourself and have galas or parties or breakouts. Think of all these things. You could even have team building exercises. So remember these very specific things when it comes to lifestyle activities. And there are destination cities that can help you with this. The CVBs, the Centers for Visitors Bureau, or the Convention Visitors Bureau, excuse me, got that wrong, can actually help you out a lot. So remember these key things when it comes to events. You're thinking about venue. You're thinking about housing, hotel accommodations, transportation. You're thinking about audiovisual, registration, and of course, lifestyle events. So that is the bare bones of events 101, and we're going to talk about each one of these specifically as well. So I hope this answered your questions and my girlfriend, hey girl, her questions as well, because I want you to succeed. Event planning is a very lucrative field. You can make a lot of money if you know how to do it. So you guys have a blessed morning, blessed afternoon, blessed evening, and I'm on to my next event, because guess what, honey? I'm going to Miami.